guys, Nary here from Drakewing Gaming. Some of you know me on Twitter, The Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you another Let's Play episode of Heart of Amethyst. So let's go ahead and jump right back into it, guys. Please sit back and enjoy for the next 18 minutes while I entertain you, and let's jump right in. Alarm changer up, and let's go. Alright. Is that so? I would have never imagined that he had it all planned out like this. Maybe he's not the idiot I thought he was. Maybe. But you don't have to worry, mate. I still prefer cute guys. No need to get jealous. As if... We both laugh it off. It really feels nice to talk about this with someone, especially when you know they won't judge you. Anyway, did I answer your question? You sure did, with more details than expected. I'm glad I did, but look at the sun, mate. It's gotten pretty late already. The wolf says as he looks up at the sky. I've never been really good at guessing the time by looking at the sun. All I know is sunset means late and dawn means early. I'll grab something to eat and be on my way. You should probably do the same. I nod and then we both stand up from the beach. Thanks for the talk, mate. Let me know if you ever feel like doing it again. I wave as he walks away from me into the castle. I decide to stay here for a while and enjoy the cool breeze that comes from the lake. I'm not that hungry anyway. There are things that you can get used to with time, like a new bed or a new schedule, but walking up these stairs doesn't get any easier. Would I be an ass if I asked for another room? Would they even give me one? I might have to take my chances. Have you been doing the exercises that I recommended? I can see Ikalis and Zack standing in the middle of the hallway, and judging by their expressions, they seem to be talking about something serious, so I try not to disturb them by hiding behind a wall. And no, I'm not eavesdropping, this is a mere coincidence. No, sir. I'm really sorry. I've been trying that meditation that you suggested, but... It'll work, Zack. Just give it another shot. And this time, do it as I say. Or is it that you want your master killed? Wait, his master? But isn't that me? Wait, hold up. There's no way that little Zack is plotting against me, right? No, I would never dare harm my master. Besides, Master Eli has been really nice to me. Ikalis chuckles lightly, and Zack's cheek turns a little red, clearly embarrassed to be called out like this. I'm sensing some big bro vibes coming from him right now. Do as I say, and you'll get results. Are we done here? Yes, sir. Please don't let me keep you for longer. Have a good day. He says shyly and then walks away towards his room, vanishing behind his door a few seconds later. Soon enough, all there is left to hear are the chirping sounds of the morning birds and the wind. I remain there, hidden behind the wall as I don't want to look suspicious. You know, listening to other people's conversations used to be punished with severe torture 8 centuries ago. I take that as my cue to approach the Kryn wolf. His ears twitch as I walk closer, so I can guess that he already knew of my presence. Sorry, I didn't mean to. The wolf just shrugs and looks away, so I'm guessing I got a free pass on this one. What was all that about, though? It sounded serious. Is he okay? I finally ask as my curiosity was eating me alive. It's not really my place to say, and neither yours to ask. Okay, that's fair. Sorry. No, perhaps I should be the one apologizing. Not to you, of course, but to him. I knew you were there, so I decided to poke some fun at him. It was rude of me, especially knowing that he's still just a teenager. The perfect age for those sorts of things. What now? He remains quiet after my question, keeping his big blue eyes glued to mine. Damn, now I would want to know even more. But he's right. I shouldn't poke my nose where it doesn't belong, especially if this is a personal issue. You're 30 minutes late, by the way. Sorry, it's the damn stairs. I must admit, your living quarters are situated in quite a bothering place. I feel a little bad for making him come all the way here, but at this point, there's nothing I can do about that. It doesn't matter. Let's get in, shall we? I have something I wish to show you. Yeah, let's. Once inside, I can notice Ikalis wandering around the room. This time, the wolf didn't bring much with him, just an old-looking scroll. He also seems more distracted than normal, which is quite uncommon with him. Are you okay? My question remains unanswered for a while, only silence fills the room. But eventually he looks at me. It's then that I can see the black bags under his eyes. For how long has he been awake? Did he sleep at all? You are an abnormality. Something I have never seen or heard about. Gee, what a nice way to start a conversation. How is it that you can have purple eyes? It shouldn't be possible. It's unnatural. The mere fact has been in my head for the past 2 days. So I've been investigating. It's been very difficult to find anything at all. Not a mention, not a clue. The information has been slipping away through my fingers. He seems really upset about this, as if he's been obsessing all night. I wonder what's driving him. That was until I found this. He flashes me a cheeky grin as he lifts up the scroll he brought with him. The wolf seems really proud of this finding. I gulp as I grasp the scroll from his hands and take a good look at it. This one seems rather old, ancient, I would dare say. Hope I won't break it. What is this, a list? I unfold the scroll and check its contents. The seal is broken, which is to be expected, as I'm guessing Ikalis checked it beforehand. In the scroll are written countless names and a few notes alongside them. Stuff like tall wild dog woman with brunette hair and silver blue eyes, or short red fox man with a scar on his left eye. The list is long and there are countless names, but aside from that, there's nothing interesting about it. What does this have to do with me? Ikalis probably picked up on my confusion, because he deeply sighs and then points out a specific spot on the paper. This is a list of guests for a funeral. King Adrius's funeral, to be more precise. It was made by the Grand Master Marlis, the second Grand Master of the library. One of my ancestors. I can confirm that by checking the seal, it is hers. I'm feeling really confused. Is this another history lesson? But what is this? Check the code number. 1510. I do as he says, moving down on the list until I reach the specific number. Name of the guest unknown. Title unknown. Observations. The guest seems to have been an elderly fox who hunches and has a beard. He also seems to have some purple stripes on his ear and right arm. No facial recognition. This is odd. All the other attendants are well described and accounted for, yet this was the only one missing its name. Marlis used to be well known for her stubbornness, so I'm willing to bet someone told her not to note this guest. She decided to leave a note to herself either way. She prided herself about doing her job perfectly. At first, I was about to discard it as a silly discovery. But then I remembered a certain fox who also bears marks as the ones described here. Marks just like mine. The wolf nodded as he scanned my body from top to bottom, paying close attention to the marks on my right side. He's a little bit too close for comfort. His soft hand goes from the top of my shoulder to my elbow, remaining still on my bicep for a few seconds. The wolf is looking at me as if I were a unique artifact that he wishes to unravel. Allow me to ask you, did any member of your family have these? Maybe your father? My mom, actually. I see. So my theory stands. This is a trait passed down within your family. Makes sense. My sister also had these same marks. Oh, and I didn't have all these when I was born. Some appeared with time as I grew up. Does that help? Not really. What? Why? It's just that the fur pattern is something passed from the parents to their kids. The ones from previous generations aren't the same as the next. And then the marks are part of my bloodline, right? He denies with his head. His face shows a look of confusion and anger. The wolf seems to be the kind of guy that doesn't like unexplainable things. Ah, of course! That must be why he's so worked up about this. No, it can't be that. You see, your fur pattern is something you are born with. Yes, it might suffer a few changes with time, but it's not something that sporadically appears. Besides, there's the fact that I felt some sort of magical energy coming from your marks. But what sort of magic can be passed down from one generation to another? I've never read about a spell like that. At this point, he's just talking to himself. Although, to be honest, I don't even know what to say. It's just, I've never given much importance to this. These marks have always been there, so I just thought it was normal. He sits down and I do the same. He seems tired and annoyed. The poor guy clearly hasn't slept. Still, I think that he looks like the kind of guy that has everything under control. So it's better if I give him some time as he calms down. And some time passes indeed, yet he still remains in the same position. I can't help but wonder if I should do something. Wait, but let's go back. No, I should wait for him to... Wait. What, was that a... Is this guy for real? Did he really fall asleep right here? Indeed, he did. He fell asleep right on the spot. The wolf has his right hand on his neck. Right hand on his neck. His fingers covering his eyes, and a very soft breathing. Okay, yeah, I need no further proof that he's sleeping, but what should I do about it? Should I wake him up or let him rest? Let's let the poor guy rest. Let him rest. No, let's wake him up. He always says he's busy all the time, so I'm sure he'll appreciate if I don't let him oversleep. I take a closer look. I even wave my hand in front of his face for good measure. No reaction. He's sleeping like a rock. I smile softly as I watch him sleep soundly. Seeing him like this is a nice diversion. He's so uptight and serious all the time, so the fact that I can see him in this state feels like a unique opportunity. Ikalis is snoring lightly, and I can see a glimpse of saliva slipping from his open mouth. The afternoon sun is bathing the wolf nicely and makes his orange fur shine. Okay, enough. I should wake him up now before I myself start to drool. I decide to shake his shoulder lightly. At first, the wolf doesn't seem fazed at all. But after a few seconds, he eventually opens his eyes. He seems confused as he looks around the room with a tired expression on his face. But as soon as his eyes land on me, he understands the situation and goes back to his usual behavior. For how long was I asleep? The wolf doesn't seem happy at all about the fact that he overslept. He's rather grumpy about it, to be honest. And here I thought he would thank me. He stands up and stretches his muscles. No wonder his body is sore. He slept in a very unusual position. Gee, now I really am getting worried about him. This guy looks like he'll crash at any given time. Hey, you sure you don't want me to take it easy? I say with a smile as I place my hand on his shoulder. The wolf just sighs and looks at me weird, taking my hand off his shoulder. I appreciate your concern, but there's no time for taking it easy. Still, thank you for letting me take a quick nap. Yeah, I was like that, sweet. So, what are you going to do now? I decide to take the conversation elsewhere. Maybe he won't be in such a bad mood that way. There is some business that I need to attend to. Such as? The wolf gives me an odd look, and as if I just asked something out of the ordinary. Maybe I should stop pestering him. Sorry, I didn't mean... No, it's okay. No one usually takes interest in my affairs, that is all. It sounds a little sad when he phrases it that way. If you want to tell me, I don't mind listening to them. Well, as long as you wish to listen, I could use an ear. Answering your question, I have a meeting with the bookkeepers by nightfall. There has been a few cases of missing books. So I need to make sure such an issue gets resolved. How many books went missing? 3. Well, that's probably not so bad, is it? I mean, I bet the library has lots of other books. I say that as I try to cheer him up, but it looks like I managed to do the opposite. Yes, indeed, there are many books in the library. 5,295 to be more precise. The thing is, each of those books contains irreplaceable knowledge and data. And all that knowledge has been entrusted to me, the Grand Master. I took an oath, so if just one of those books goes missing or gets destroyed, then it means that I've failed. I watch his speech unfold with utmost care, as I don't want to set him off by saying something stupid. It wouldn't be the first time I do so. Ikalis lets out a deep, tired sigh, clearly indicating me of how annoying the situation must be for him. Have you ever wished that someone else took your spot? The question comes out of my mouth before I manage to properly process what I just said. Damn, did I mess up again? No, I wouldn't change it for the world. This is my family's legacy. Could I use some rest? Yes, of course I could. The amount of work is ridiculous, and let's not mention how useless most of the bookkeepers are. Bunch of old men who can't even read anymore. If it were up to me, I would fire them all. He's really going all out with this. For now, all I can do is listen to his frustrations. I owe him that much. But it doesn't matter. If my predecessors managed to do it, then so will I. I can't disappoint them, and I won't. I made a promise to him. Oddly enough, I can easily understand how he feels. Maybe it's the fact that we both have a promise to keep. I chuckle sadly as I find myself out of words. I don't think he'll like a hug. The wolf doesn't look like the type of guy that would enjoy that. Find it funny? I deny with the head, a sad smile still on my face. Not at all. I just thought we were alike. He looks away as he places a hand on his chin. Silence soon follows. Way to make it awkward, Eli. Again. Of course we're nothing alike. I've told you before, I'm not a fox. Oh no, Well, it doesn't matter, really. I have to be on my way. Ikalis is not letting me talk, as he clearly wants the conversation to be over. what a pity. I didn't want him to misunderstand me. Okay, thanks for helping me with the scroll. I hand him the scroll, but to my surprise, the wolf doesn't seem to take it. Quite the opposite, actually. He just pushes it back at me. You hold on to it. Maybe you'll be able to find something that I overlooked. Although, I highly doubt it. We both smile at that as I take the scroll back. I guess this is his way of saying he's not upset about our previous talk. I'm glad. Oh, you'll see. I'll prove you wrong. He just shrugs, but this time his smile doesn't fade. Thank you, by the way, for lending me your room and waking me up, of course. Goddesses know that I would have missed my appointment if you hadn't. Don't sweat it. If you need a place to take a nap, my desk will always be available. Heh, good to know. He chuckles a little, looking into the distance of the lake as he smiles. What a mood changer. Have a good afternoon, Eli. With nothing else to say, the wolf opens the door and leaves. However, I remain there with my own thoughts. I wonder if that was a good interaction or a bad one. There were ups and downs for sure, but at the end, I feel like I learned some new stuff about the wolf. There are things... By the way, make sure to read page 45 to 100 by tomorrow. We shall have a test. He yells by the other side of the door, giving me that final message. I'm glad he feels comfortable enough to do something like that. Looks like I made the right call by waking him up. Wait a second. A test? You're gonna get tested. Oh, now you're gonna get beaten. By the time Roderick reached the training grounds, I've had a few minutes to practice with the sword. I tried to apply what he taught me yesterday, but the whole posture thing and the blocking... And no, I'm not trying to show off in front of the wolf. Where would you get that crazy idea? Been practicing? Without breaking my stance, I nod a couple of times in response with a nod of his own. That's good enough, but I have something else in mind for today. Come, follow me. The wolf says nothing else and walks past me towards the other end of the field. He doesn't turn around or wait for me to say anything. Come, runt, move your ass! He yells at me as he notices that I'm not moving. Gee, why does he always have to be so rude? Rude! We've been walking for at least 20 minutes and per usual, he's not very talkative, so I'm left alone with my own thoughts. Red Rose Island is a very unique place, now that I think about it. The west side of the shore connects with the lake, but walk enough to the east and you'll be met by the sea. Actually, I think that's where we're going. He's taking me to a lonely side of the beach that I've never seen before. There are a few rocks shyly poking their heads out of the water, and the sand is darker on this side. The waves hit the rocks with a lot of force, making the water splash all over the place. Looking up, I can see the fortress and its huge towers, which are hanging on the top of the cliff. Seeing the castle so high up makes me feel really tiny. The wolf stops by, but he doesn't turn his back to me yet. Can't help but wonder, what are we doing here? What is this training he's got in mind? I really want to ask him, but I should wait patiently for him to speak. Yesterday when I trained you, I noticed something. Despite your efforts, you're still weak. I can teach your arms how to react to a hit, but you won't be able to stand a single blow if your body isn't strong enough. Alright, I'm going to pause it right here, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, leave a super thanks or a tip if you can. It always helps. Until the next video, I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!